Alright, welcome to this index review for Adeptus Mechanicus, or AdMech as they're well known. So I have a pure Skitarii army, so definitely take an interest in this faction here. I'm going to cover what was Cult Mechanicus, or still is Cult Mechanicus, and Skitarii. They come together now in Adeptus Mechanicus. Some beautiful miniatures, and it was one of the new armies that I put together for 7th edition and finished it just as 7th edition came to an end. So looking to transfer the army over into 8th, so that's sort of the angle I'm going to come at as we look at the different units here. So especially interested in Skitarii, but also the Cult Mechanicus units as well. So I'm going to run through all of the units for both of those two groups, and then sort of give you my take on the different units and configurations and upgrades and so on that are available. So just to mention, I've got my index from gamingfigures.com. They do Games Workshop at a discounted rate. You can check them out, and they do have gaming systems as well, all at a reduced rate. So I also, it will be a separate review for Imperial Knights. My Skitarii army has an Imperial Knight in with it. I still plan to continue that theme along, but I will do an Imperial Knights review as a separate video for you to check out in the near future. So we'll just look them up here. They're just before Imperial Knights. So just here, Cult or Adeptus Mechanicus. So I'll go straight onto abilities here. Now I just want to check something here. Just going to go over to Skitarii and check out their keywords. Yeah, so Adeptus Mechanicus, so they're going to fall within this umbrella here. Abilities, so the following ability is common to several Adeptus Mechanicus units. So we're thinking about Cult Mechanicus and Skitarii here. So all units of this ability, this is Canticles of the Omnicia. All units of this ability gain a bonus during the battle depending on the Canticle of the Omnicia currently being canted. At the start of each battle round, pick which Canticle of the Omnicia from the table below is in effect for the duration of the battle round. The same Canticle may not be picked twice during the same battle. Right, so you've got 6 of them, and you gradually use them up. Cool thing is you get to choose them, so that's quite tactical. That's really good, you get to choose them, but you can't reuse the same one. So it's cool. You got to choose wisely, and then use them on the right turns. So that's quite a challenge. Alternatively, you can randomly determine which Canticle is in effect by rolling a d6. If you wish. Note that you randomly determine a Canticle, it does take effect even if the same Canticle has been in effect earlier in the battle. So sometimes on these charts they'll say in the index you can go random if you want, but there's no incentive to do that, but here there is. If you go for random and you roll the same power up on another turn, you still get it, so you don't have to reroll if you've already used one of the powers. That's it's a pretty good benefit there if you go for random. If you have a battle forged army, units only receive the bonus if every model in their detachment has this ability. Right, okay. Yep. Okay, so you've got to make sure your detachment's pure Adeptus Mechanicus. That's fine. So these are the Canticles then. Incantation of the Iron Soul. You may reroll failed morale tests for the affected units. Not that major. If you're on picking them, you probably want to try and use one each turn. You know, game's usually going to last 5 or 6 turns, 6 of them to use up. So the poorer ones, if you're on a round where you don't need the crucial ones, then just use one of the poor ones up. That one's not that amazing. So the reroll morale is one I'll probably try and use up just when it's not on a turn where you don't need one of the other ones that are more powerful, presuming that there are some better ones here. Litany of the Electromancer. Roll a d6 for each enemy unit that is within an inch of any affected units. A roll of a 6. Unit being rolled for suffers d3 mortal wounds. That's kind of crazy, that one. So you want to roll that when you're mixed in with the opponent. You've got multiple units nearby, so that could be a bit of a shock there to the opponent, that one. Then number 3. Chant of the Remorseless Fist. You may re-roll any failed hit rolls of 1 for the affected units in the fight phase. Okay, so if you're going heavy towards melee on any particular turn, then you can go for that one. Shroud Psalm. Affected units gain the bonus to their armor save throws as if they were in cover. Units already in cover are unaffected. Wow, so you get +1 to your armor saves for everything. Okay. What is it for everything? Let's just check here. Just want to have a little look. So, a Dune Crawler, for example. Yeah, no, I'm just checking. I'm interested in the Dune Crawler just for Skitarii. See if Skitarii benefit from this as well. They do. It's here. Canticles Omniscia, so they get it. So it's going to apply to Skitarii units as well. Dragoons have it. Belisarius have it. Sicari Infiltrators, yes. Rostalkers. This is a fantastic power. It really is good. +1 armor save, as if you're in cover, but basically +1 armor save for everything. Very, very good indeed. So the next one is Invocation of the Machine Might. Affected units have +1 strength. Okay, cool. And then Benediction of the Omniscia. You may reroll failed hit rolls 1 for affected units in the shooting phase. Alright, so a bit more accurate just there. Very interesting that. It's well worth having that laid out in front of you during a game and really trying to remember to use those in each turn, because there's some excellent benefits there and they're sort of free of charge. You're not paying points, not upgrades. It's all part of the army philosophy there. So those are fine. There's some really good ones in there. The best one is that Shroud Psalm. That's really good. So a little bit there on Cult Mechanicus background, and then we'll get stuck into these here. So first one's Belisarius Core. Beautiful miniature, really, really nice. It really is quite incredible. See how good he is though. So partly interested in him, because he matches the Skitarii well. So he's power level 13. So we'll go to the points costs here. So Belisarius Core is 250 points, so it's a fair amount. Includes war gear though, so you're not going to pay out any more points for him than that. It's flat 250 points. So movement 6, weapon skill and ballistic skill of 2+, that's really good. Strength 5, toughness 6. He's got 8 wounds, fantastic. 4 attacks, that's good. Leadership 9 and 2 up saves. The stat line's really, really good. Belisarius Core is a single model armed with an arc, Scourge, an Omniscient axe, a solar atomizer, and a Mechanic hive. Only one of this model may be included in your army. So it'll be fascinating to see what these different weapons do. So the solar atomizer, it's range 12, assault D3, strength 10, AP -4, and D3 points of damage. If the target is within half the range of this weapon, which is range 6, then it has damage of D6. Right, so it is like a super melter weapon. Yeah, nasty enough. The great thing again in 8th edition, you can fire at multiple targets and split fire, and then you can also charge a different target than the one that you fired at. So those kind of weapons, or having multiple weapons, is fantastic because it's nice and flexible now in 8th edition. So then the Arc Scourge is a melee weapon, ×2 strength, so it'll be fighting at strength 10. It's AP -1, 1 point of damage. When attacking a vehicle, this weapon has a damage of D3. So let's say he charges into a vehicle, he's got 4 attacks. He's going to hit with all of them, probably on a 2+ to hit, if not 3 of them, 2 or 3 of them. So he's going to be at strength 10, AP -1, D3 points of damage. So he's going to do some damage to a vehicle, pretty good. A Mechanic hive is a melee weapon. Each time Belisarius Core fights, he can make 2d6 additional attacks with this weapon. Nice, alright, so that's for dealing with hordes and so on. It's strength of the user, which is strength 5. There's no AP, and it's 1 point of damage. Okay, so nothing too special, but it means if he gets bogged down with something, he can lash out with a load of attacks, which is great. And then remember, 2d6 attacks, remember he's going to 2s to hit with those, so you could suddenly lash out with a load of attacks just there. Next is the Omniscient Axe. Yeah, So another melee weapon. This one's +1 strength. This makes him strength 6. It's AP -2. And then 2 points of damage for this one. Right, so that's one for something that's not a vehicle. A character, for example, would be good against. Yeah, or heavy infantry, Terminators, for example, something like that. Okay, so he's got 2 different types of melee weapons to call upon. So stat line's pretty good. Weapons are okay. I mean, he's not the most powerful out there, but he's armed well enough. So he does come with Canticles of Omniscia. Okay, so his benefits we looked at, he can partake of those. So abilities. This could be interesting. Archmagus. Whilst Call is on the battlefield, you can add or subtract 1 when rolling on the Canticles of Omniscia table. Okay, so if you do go for random, that's a... Imagine going random and then having the ability to control that to get the power that you want, because you can have the same power over and over if you're rolling it, and now you've got the ability to move up and down the scale and adjusting with him. That's a pretty powerful trait there. Right, okay. He does have a 5+ invuln save as well with his refractor field. Then he's got Artificer's self-repair mechanisms. At the beginning of each of your turns, he may recover D3 wounds. Wow, nice. He's a character as well, he's going to be hard to hit, and then when he does take some damage he can repair himself. That's quite rare that you're going to find a model that can do that. Brilliant. And then next, Master Machines. At the end of your movement phase, Belisarius Core can repair a single friendly Adeptus Mechanicus model. Not vehicle here. This is interesting. At the end of your movement phase, Belisarius Core can repair a single friendly Adeptus Mechanicus model within 3 inches, but not himself. That model regains D3 lost wounds. A model may not be the target of Master Machine's ability more than once a turn, regardless of the source. Right, so that's not just restricted to vehicles then. I take it then that he can do that kind of repair to something like a Castelln Robot. He can repair one of them. He could repair a cybernetic datasmith, Cataphron Destroyer. It's open to all sorts. So really good. And then there's more to this here. Lord of Mars. You can reroll any hit rolls in the shooting phase of friendly Mars units within 6. Rerolls to hit, like the old twin linked ability to units within 6. Fantastic. Okay. I was just trying to figure out what this means. I mean, for example, here you've got these Electro Priests. You look up on faction keywords, doesn't say Mars on here, it just says brackets Forge World. So you go back here and it says, for example, if you're going to include Tec Priest Dominus in your army and you decided they were from Mars, then their Forge World brackets keyword is changed to Mars, and then the ability applies to them. So that's Forge World. You just choose Mars, and if they all carry that, whoever carries that gets the benefit of reroll shooting phase, reroll hits in the shooting phase for Mars units within 6. Utterly fantastic. He is really, really good, and for all that you get, brilliant stat line, very, very durable, excellent armour, well protected, can heal himself, can heal others, loads and loads of weapons here. You can decent enough in combat, and then benefits and buffs to units around him. There's and on top of that, fantastic miniature, all for 250 points. So it's a good start here for the AdMech. I'm not sure what other people are gauging them as at the moment, whether they're good, medium or bad, but this is started well for them, an excellent character. Okay, so next one is a Tec Priest Dominus. Now I have this miniature here, I got it with the Start Collecting set, haven't painted him up yet, a beautiful looking model. We'll see if he's any good. We'll just look up our costs. So he's power 7, Tec Priest Dominus. He's 125 points. It doesn't include war gear, so he's half the cost of Belisarius Core. Then you've got to pay for stuff on top of this. So the Tec Priest Dominus is a single model armed with Omniscient Axe. Cost 0. Okay, so that's part of this price. In there, a Volkov Blaster. Does cost 8, so that's not too bad. And then a Macro Stubber. Costs, I think it's shooting, 2 points. You're going to spend an extra 10 so far. Okay, so 135 points will get you. Movement 6, weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 2+, strength and toughness 4, 5 wounds, 3 attacks, leadership 8, and a 2-up save. So the Omniscient Axe, or the Omniscient Axe, is a melee weapon. It's +1 strength, so he's going to fight at strength 5. It's AP -2 and 2 points of damage, so nasty enough. Remember, there's no unwieldy anymore, really. It's just picking combats. So the old unwieldy type weapons, I think have improved now as far as the order when you strike. So they're decent enough stat line, and then you may well get to go first with them if you charge. So that's fine, decent enough combat weapon, that. No problem at all. Hack through Space Marines, no problem. Now, next is the Volkov Blaster. It's range 24, heavy 3, strength 6, it's AP -0, it's not that great, and damage of 1. Each time you make a wound roll of a 6 for this weapon, there's some chance the target suffers a mortal wound in addition to any other damage, so not that amazing, really. Then you came with a Macro Stubber as well, range 12, pistol 5. Remember, you can fire that in the shooting phase and in combat as well. Or not in combat. If you're in combat during your shooting phase, if it comes around, then you get to shoot whilst you're in combat during the shooting phase. Strength 4, it's AP 0 and it's 1 damage. There's no special rules, so not that amazing either. Now, the model may replace its Volkov Blaster with an Eradication Ray. So instead of paying 8 points, you pay 14, so you pay an extra 6 points. Let's see if it's worth it. Range 24 again. It's heavy D3, so it's not 3, it's heavy D3, so the odds are you're going to get a couple less shots. Even if you only roll a 1 or a 2 and you only get 1 shot, you're still going to need 2s to hit, so the chances are you are going to hit here with something at least. It's strength 6. Okay. AP -2 though, and 1 damage. Attacks from this weapon that target enemies 8 inches or less are resolved AP -4 and damage of D3. Okay, so yeah, it's nastier. It is a nastier weapon. Okay. So I would probably take that for the sake of 6 points. I think it's a better weapon. It's definitely a better weapon, that is. Okay. This model may replace its Macro Stubber with a Phosphor Serpenta. So you're going from the 5-shot 12-inch pistol here to 18 inches range. It's Assault 1. Okay. And then it's Strength 5, AP -1, 1 point of damage. Units attacked by this weapon do not gain any bonus to their saving throws for being in cover. Not that amazing, really. So the difference in cost, 2 points you were paying. Phosphor Serpenta is 6 points. Okay, probably wouldn't bother with that. Probably keep the pistol. Yeah, probably keep the pistol. Like that, save the points there. I mean, if you had to spare 6 points towards the end, you calculate an army out, you're not sure, then you can easily take that. It's no problem. Refractive Field. Model does have a 5+ Invuln save. Master of Mechanics, same fruit as here. So he gets to repair a model. Not himself, with D3 wounds. Pretty good. Masterwork Bionics. He gets that at the beginning of each of your turns. Remove up to D3 wounds that this model has suffered during the battle, so he can repair himself as well. Fantastic. And then Lord of the Machine Colt, you can reroll hit rolls of 1 in the shooting phase. So he's like a tamer for models within 6. So he's like a tamer version of Core here. Reroll 1s, here it's just reroll to hits in the shooting phase. So, but great, no, really good. Okay, so that's HQs. So it's funny, Skitarii, you never could take HQs, you had to choose a warlord from one of your characters. For now, these detachments, it seems like you may need to take HQs to fulfill some of the main detachments there, like Battalion and so on, and Vanguard and kind of detachments. So you may well need, me collecting pure Skitarii, may well need to take a HQ to fulfill those detachments. We'll have to see. But those are 2 HQs available there. Pretty sure the Skitarii still do not have an HQ. No, straight into troops. So if you want HQs for a detachment, it's got to be with those 2. You don't have to go down that route, but that's where the HQs are available. Because the next one here, Tec Priest Engine Seer, is actually an elite option. And he is 40 points, so cheap enough. Movement 6, weapon skill and ballistic skill 4+, strength and toughness 4. It does come with 4 wounds actually. That's really good, 40 points. 2 attacks, leadership 8 and a 3+ save. He's armed with Omniscient Axe, which is free, we looked at that earlier. A las pistol, 0 points as well. He is cheap here, and a servo arm is 12 points. Okay, so with the servo arm makes him 52 points, but still very, very cheap here. Las pistol, 12-inch, a pistol, strength 3, 0 and 1 damage. We know the axe. He's going to have force to hit over 2 attacks, so not going to be that impressive. Wouldn't expect much from him. Servo arm is melee times 2 strength, AP -2 and 3 points of damage. That's nasty. Each servo arm can only be used to make 1 attack each time this model fights. When a model attacks with this weapon, you must subtract 1 from the hit roll. Oh dear, it's just got very, very poor. Because you're now at 5s to hit. Dear. So not going to be that effective. Bionics, this model has a 6+ invuln, and then Master of Machines, you do get the repair again of models with Mars or whatever forge rod it is. D3 wounds recovered. Yep, so it's cheap though, but that's the engine seat just there. Okay, so now we're on to the troops for Cult Mechanicus. So Cataphron Breachers first. Now, these are 35 points each. Remember, we've got war gear to add on top of that. So movement 5, weapon skill and ballistic skill 4+, strength 5, toughness 5, 3 wounds, 2 attacks, leadership 7 and 3 up save. The unit contains 3 of them. And it can contain up to 3 more, up to 6 more, or 9 more. So you can go for big units of 12. Each of them is armed with a heavy arc rifle and an arc claw. Cool, okay. So the heavy arc rifle, arc claw by the way, it's just here, 4 points, and then heavy arc rifle is 18 points. You're going to add an extra 22 points to that. So pushing on for about 60 points each. The heavy arc rifle is range 36, heavy 2. Remember you need force to hit though. Strength 6, AP -2, D3 points of damage. When attacking a vehicle, this weapon has a damage of D6. Ouch, so that's pretty good. Yeah, no, that's a pretty nasty weapon. It's good. The low ballistic skill, you know, you need 4s. It is heavy, so if you move you're going to have 5s. But it is heavy too, you do get 2 chances of getting the hit. Nice. Then the arc claw, it's +1 strength in melee. So strength 6 if you're fighting it. It's AP -1, 1 point of damage when attacking a vehicle. This weapon has damage of D3. Okay. So nasty enough against vehicles there. 60 points each. not too bad. The model may replace its heavy arc rifle with a torsion cannon, which costs 22 points. You're paying a fair bit more. That'll get you range 24, so you lose 12 inches. It's heavy 1, so you lose a shot as well, but it becomes strength 8, AP -4, and D6 points of damage. Okay, I'd probably stick with a heavy arc rifle. Probably, but yeah. Okay, so any model may replace its arc claw with a hydraulic claw. So hydraulic claw is 8 points instead of 4, so it's not much really in difference. But this will give you ×2 strength, right? So your strength shoots right up from 6. It would have been all the way up to 10 now. It's AP -1, and then D3 points of damage. When attacking with this weapon, you must subtract 1 from the hit roll. So again, it's going to be 5s to hit in close combat, just with 2 attacks. Not sure what to think of them. Cataphron breaches, they're interesting. Do come with Canticles of Omniscia. They do have a 6+ invuln. It's a heavy battle servitor. Models in this unit can only advance D3, but do not suffer the penalty for firing a heavy weapon after movement. Alright, so that helps. That does help them a lot. If they move, there's no minus. When they shoot, good. So I'd imagine a big unit of these would be more effective. Unit of 6, unit of 9 for shooting and combat. Unit of 6 to 9 of those firing their heavy arc rifles are going to make a mess of vehicles. I think they really would make a fair mess of vehicles, and then in combat it wouldn't be too bad. Yeah, with 6 and 9 of them fighting, I think it'd be more deadly. A small unit of 3 of them would be a bit piecemeal, wouldn't really have much of an impact, but units of 6 or more, 9 ideally I reckon, would make a fair impact on the game. But again, you're going to be paying out about 250 points for a unit of 6 of those. Okay, so the next one, again, it's still troops here, and this is the Cataphron Destroyers. Same configuration, go all the way up to a unit of 12 in total of them. Stat line is the same, just 1 attack for these though, so they're more of the melee type, I think. Just 1 attack, leadership 7 still, 4 up, so they do drop down in the value for saves as well. Okay. Still 35 points though for these. So what's the bonus for them? You're still paying 35 points for each type, but these are worse. Their saves worse, and they've got 1 less attack. Okay, maybe it's the access to the weapons they can have. Each destroyer is armed with a plasma culverin. Let's look it up here. It's 27 points. That is a lot of points for that. Let's see what you get. You choose one of the profiles below. So standard and supercharged. Okay, so standard is range 36, decent range, heavy D6. That's nasty. Yeah, that's nasty. And then AP -3, 1 point of damage. So there's Slay Marines here. That's a nasty enough weapon. Or you can supercharge it. Heavy D6 again, range 36, strength 8. You get +1 strength. AP -3. It deals out 2 points of damage. In a roll of a 1, the bearer is slain after all of this weapon shots have been resolved. So there's a bit of a risk there, especially with D6 shots. If you're desperate, then. If you're desperate, or if there's some ability where you get to reroll, like from Call or from a Tec Priest Dominus, reroll 1s, reroll hits, it's going to decrease your chances of getting that 1 if you are going to go for supercharged. So, they're also armed with a Phosphor Blaster, so another shooting weapon. It's 8 points to add on top of that. It's looking about 70 odd points. Bit more for these. It's range 24, rapid fire 1, strength 5, AP -1, and then there's no bonus for your cover. It's pretty poor, that weapon. Not that great. Okay. Now, the model replaces its plasma culverin with a heavy grav cannon. A heavy grav cannon costs 30 points, just 3 points more. It's range 30, heavy 5, so it's fixed, there's a nice high output there. Strength 5, AP -3. If this target has a save characteristic of 3+ or better, this weapon has a damage characteristic of D3. Okay, so a bit more of a bonus for targeting more heavily armed units. Any model replaces its Phosphor Blaster with a Cognis Flamer. So Cognis Flamer's range 8, D6, shots, strength 4. Weapon automatically hits its target. In addition, when firing Overwatch, this weapon roll 2 dice when determining how many attacks it makes and discard the lowest. Okay. Right, so you got a 6+ invuln available, and the usual here, as before, D3, advanced moves, no penalty for moving and firing heavy weapons. Okay, so not bad. You probably rate the, it depends what you want them to do in the game, what role you need them to fulfill, and that's the cool bit. They're pretty flexible here. You can kit them out to fill a certain gap. As you know, there's an area in your army, perhaps it's an area in your army, perhaps it's anti-tank, anti-heavy infantry, anti-hordes. You know, that's the issue. You kit these out to fit in with whatever you need. There's nice flexibility with these to arm them however you wish, however you need. Okay, so I'm not sure what to think of the models for these. They're still not completely taken on. They're quite sort of randomly. It's not. See, Eldar, for example, the units all sort of match the theme quite well. Tau as well. The theme runs throughout the army. For these, are a bit sort of extreme with their designs. I'm not sure it doesn't gel quite so well. The colour scheme does. You know, they can link it with the colour scheme. But the actual models sort of are quite random to be with each other. But anyway, the Fulgurite Electro Priests. So you've got half men on tanks going around. Now you've got these electrocution priests. If you see what I mean, it's quite sort of random with what's going on. So the Electro Priest here, he starts off at 16 points each. That's expensive enough here. Space Marine's 13, so these 3 more points than the Space Marine. You get movement 6, weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 4+, strength and toughness 3, 1 wound, 2 attacks, leadership 8, and a 6+ save. It's a unit of 5 of them. You can take 5 more, or 10 more, or 15 more. Each Electro Priest is armed with an Electro Leech stave, which will cost 0. Alright, so that's must be a pretty nasty weapon here. It's a melee, it's +2 strength, so it's at strength 5, save -2, and D3 points of damage. Each time you make a wound roll of a 6 with this weapon, the target suffers D3 mortal wounds instead of normal damage. Okay, and again, I think this unit would be more deadly in a larger unit, for sure. If you want to be effective with them, take a larger unit of I would say 10 of them would be deadly enough. 15 of them, unit of 15, would be deadly, and if you take a few casualties, would still be deadly. I'd say unit of, ideally unit of 15 of them. So then you're looking at 30 attacks, needing 3 hit, you can get 20 hits with them, and then you're at strength 5, AP -2, D3 damage. You're going to make a mess of most infantry vehicles. Ah, right. So 6 up save, but the Voltergeist field, models in this unit have a 5+ invuln. When this unit completes a charge move, pick one of the target units you charged and roll d6 for each model in the charging unit. Any 6s inflict a mortal wound on the unit you picked. Okay, so a bit of a bonus there, and again, more of a bonus if you have a bigger unit. Then Siphoned Vigor. If this unit wipes out an enemy unit in the fight phase, their invuln save is increased to 3+ for the rest of the battle. Wow, okay, not bad at all. And then Fanatical Devotion. Each time a model in this unit loses a wound, roll d6. On 5 or 6, the model does not lose the wound. Wow, so they started off rubbish on the stat line, and they've just got better and better. This is a nasty unit, I think. Perhaps overlooked, Derek, maybe. You know, you put off by the stat line, you think, oh, 16 points is expensive, but if you add up all these benefits here, a 5+ invuln, a 5+ feel no pain, pretty much on top of that, so they may not look durable. You look at them, you think, oh, 6+ save's no good, but then you add on these extra abilities here, and they start to become pretty durable. The melee weapon's pretty nasty, and they're quite well protected, really, not too bad. Yeah, I'd go for a unit of 15. If I was going to do them, I'd probably take 15 of them. Just expecting to take some damage. You want them to still be effective, even after a few casualties. Okay, next one's the Corpus Electro Priests. These ones cost 14 points, just 2 points less. Stat line is the same as before. You can go all up to 20 of them. And they're armed with Electrostatic Gauntlets. 0 points. So again, you get 10 of them, 140 points. Now, you could shoot with these, actually. Range 12, Assault 3, Strength 5 is an AP with minus, and it's 1 point damage. Each roll of a 6 of this weapon causes 3 hits rather than 1. Right, so 3 shots. So say you get 10 of them, you get 30 shots, needing 3s to hit. And for each 6 you get an extra 3 hits rather than 1. Okay, then in melee it's the same stat line really, it's just a melee weapon, strength 5, AP, no AP minus, and then 1 point of damage. They get the 5+ invuln when they do their charge. It's the same, it's the Voltegeist field. And then Fanatical Devotion, each time a model in this unit loses a wound, alright, on a 5 or a 6, it doesn't lose the wound. I would go for, I mean, that shooting ability is not that amazing. 3 shots of strength 5, there's nothing major to it. So I would go with the Electro Priests here. I think they're better out of the two, for the sake of 2 points difference. For the sake of such a small amount, I would go with them, I reckon. Okay, next one's the Castelln Robots. And again, they're okay. I mean, the army's alright, but you got your robots here. These electrocution priest guys, you've got the half-human tank things rolling around. Just doesn't quite gel the same, I don't think, as other armies. Nice models though, for sure. So, Castelln Robots. They're expensive in 7th, imagine they are in 8th as well. Right, so 65 points a time. You can go for units of 2 to 6 of them. And they're armed with Castellan Fists and an Incendine Combustor. They're moving 8, so nice and quick. These weapons got ballistic skill 4+, strength 6, toughness 7, 6 wounds, 3 attacks. That's a nice base of attacks there for them. Leadership 10 and a 3+ save. Now, Castellan Fists. Ouch, ouch, 35 points. So now they've gone from 65 to 100 with those fists. That's very expensive. It is expensive, that. Now, I wonder if they charge you for the Incendine Combustor. They do, and it's 21 points. So looking at 121 points for one of these. That's a lot of points. Yep. Close to unit 10 of them for that points cost. Okay, so Castellan Fists then. It's +4 strength, so it's strength 10. It's AP -3 and 3 points of damage. It is a nasty weapon in close combat. These guys are only 4+ to hit though. It's not that reliable at all for shooting and for close combat. The Incendine Combustor is range 12, it's heavy D6, it's strength 5, AP -1. It's auto hits, it's sort of a longer distance heavy flamer. Okay. Any model replaces Incendine Combustor with a heavy Phosphor Blaster. That is heavy 3, so 3 shots. range 36, this is better. Strength 6, AP -2, 1 point of damage, and there's no benefits for cover. Okay, so I think that's a better. So if you're on poor rolls to hit with Ballistic Skill 4+, you may want to go for the auto hits, which is the Incendium Combustor. Any downside to the range isn't too far. Okay. Look. Castelln Fists. Right, so you can replace the fists that you paid out for, which is 35 points, with 2 heavy Phosphor Blasters. Right, so you can make a super shooty sort of version here. Yeah, as seen in this image just here. So you can end up with 3 heavy Phosphor Blasters, which would be 9 shots. Problem is it's forced to hit, but it is a high volume of shots. Okay. But no fist is going to be rubbish in combat. I think you need the fists for sure. Yeah. You can't just pay out all those points just to have them carry a heavy flame around. This is no. You'd want the combat ability, I think. So the Castelln Fists is what I go for, I think. Okay, so they came with Canticles of the Omnicia. So remember, if you get that +1 to their armour save for the cover, these guys will suddenly become 2+ armour. The Repulsor Grid. All models in this unit have 5+ Invuln against shooting attacks. In addition, each turn roll is 6 on the Repulsor Grid's Invuln save and throw. Units that made that attack suffer a mortal wound. You can easily forget that during a game, but it is handy to remember. Battle Protocols. When a unit is set up, the Aegis Protocol superimposed in effect. You can attempt to change the unit's battle protocol at the start of each of your movement phases. If there is a friendly Forge World Cybernetical Data Smith within 6. If you do so, roll dice. On 2+, the attempt is successful, and you can select any one of the 3 protocols to take effect from the start of the next battle round. Otherwise, the attempt fails and the unit's current protocol remains in effect. So, first one is the Aegis Protocol. Whilst this battle protocol is in effect, you can add 1 to any armour and Invuln saving throws you make for models in the unit. Okay, so that's the one it starts with. So it becomes a 2+ armour save and a 4+ Invuln. Very, very tough. That's a good table, this one. Looks of it. Conqueror Protocol next. Whilst this battle protocol is in effect, the unit cannot shoot, but it can fight twice in each fight phase instead of only once. Amazing. Fight twice, so you're on 6 attacks. Brilliant. And the next one is Protector Protocol. Whilst this is in effect, the unit cannot move or charge, but it can shoot twice in each of your shooting phases. It can shoot twice when firing Overwatch. Okay. So the shooting weapon's that amazing. You've got to stand still as well. So the best one's the Aegis, I think. And then also, if you need it, Conqueror Protocol is pretty devastating as well. The ability to fight twice is really cool. Okay. Other than that, it's just explodes results applicable for him. Yeah, okay. Then we do have the Cybernetic Data Smith, which I really like the model for. It's this one just here. It comes with this Power Fist. Just a fantastic looking model. Really, really nice. Would suit my Skitarii really well. So he costs 22 points. It's cheap enough. Stat line movement 6. Weapon skill, ballistic skill 3+. Strength and toughness 4. 4 wounds, 2 attacks, leadership 8 and 2 up save. He's armed with a Power Fist, which is 20 points. It's 42 points now. And then a Gamma Pistol, which is 10 points as well, you have to add on. Now, the Gamma Pistol's range 12, pistol 1, strength 6, AP -3 and 2 points of damage. You can reroll failed wound rolls to this weapon when attacking a vehicle. Okay. Next is Power Fist. It's ×2 strength, so we've got strength 8, AP -3 and D3 points of damage, and it's -1 to hit. Okay. He does come with Canticles of the Omnicia. And then Master of Mechanics, he can repair a single friendly Castelln Robot unit within 3 inches. That is his speciality. He gets D3 wounds back. And he comes with a 5+ in 1 also. So yeah, you could pay up for him, and he's not too expensive actually. And he's the perfect one to hang around. A cheap alternative to then hang around with your Castelln Robots for sure. So he fits in nicely with that. Very good. Alright, next one is Servitors. They cost 2. I think that's the lowest I've seen so far. So they're 2 points each. Movement 5, weapon skill, ballistic skill 5+. Strength and toughness 3, 1 wound, 1 attack, leadership 6 and a 4-up save. They're armed with a servo arm. 12 points, right, so they work out 14 points each of the servo arm. That's just down here, it's times 2 strength, so strength 6, AP -2 and 3 points of damage. Okay. Only 1 attack for each model per turn with that. And it's -1 to hit as well with the servo arm. Oh no. -1 to hit with the servo arm. You're already on 5s, so you're on 6s to hit with your melee weapon. So it's really hard for him. Okay, I don't get bothered with these. Up to 2 models will replace the servo arm with heavy bolter, plasma cannon or multi-melter. Okay. But again, would you waste it on 5s to hit? Those kind of weapons, Imperial weapons, we sort of know about those. They're kind of damage and their points cost. So Mind Lock's the other one. Servitors improve their weapon skill and ballistic skill to 4+, and their leadership to 9, whilst delivering 6 of any friendly Tec Priests. Okay, so it recovers their ballistic skill to some degree, but still close combat. Dreadful, and you're paying out for them for units very poor, really, very poor. Just looking to see if it's listed for the thing. Yeah, like plasma cannon here, 21 points. You got to pay on top of that. Yeah, okay. I don't think I would bother with Servitors. And that marks the end of Cult Mechanicus. Yeah, so the next section is Skitarii. I've got all of the units here apart from the Belisarius. I've pretty much got all of the units here, so this is going to be interesting. So straight into troops here first of all. Skitarii Rangers. I have unit 10 of these at the moment. We'll see how good these are. So units of 5, and you can have 5 more, so you can max them out to unit 10. They're armed with Galvanic Rifles. Let's have a look here. Skitarii Ranger is 10 points, so cheap enough. And then a Galvanic Rifle is 0. Alright, so you're looking at 10 points. 100 points, unit 10. Movement 6, weapon skill 4+. Ballistic skill 3+, good, that's a good foundation for them. Strength and toughness 3, 1 wound, 1 attack, leadership 6 and a 4-up save. Okay, it's nothing major there. The Galvanic Rifle that they carry is range 30, which is good for infantry's small arms weaponry. Rapid fire 1, so you get to within 15, you can 2 shots. Strength 4, AP dash, and 1 damage. Each time you make a wound roll of a 6, the hit is resolved a whopping AP -1. Okay, so they've taken a knock, these rifles. They used to be, the range was the same, strength was the same, but they used to be AP 4. Anything with a 4-up save, they ignored that armour. They've taken a nasty knock here. Nowhere near as good as they were. And it would have been better if it was just always my AP -1 on the damage. But that's not happened. It's only when you wound on a 6, so you're going to get a couple go through at that. No, the hit. Sorry, this weapon is hit. It's resolved at AP -1. So that just represents them sniping away and finding weakness in the armour. But it's when you roll to hit. Say you get 20 shots, you're going to get 3 6s. but it's only -1, so not that major here. I think they've been toned down with their galvanic rifles. Up to 2 Skitarii Rangers may replace their galvanic rifle with items from the AdMech special weapons list. Okay. So, I used to love the arc rifle. It's Haywire, and Haywire was fantastic in 7th. What do you get now? So, special weapons, just here. So 2 of them can take arc rifles. That will cost 4 points. Extremely cheap. Very, very cheap indeed. Okay. So look up our bit at the back here. Arc rifle. So range 24, same as it was. Rapid fire 1, that's the same. Strength 6, good. It's the same. AP -1, which is cool. And then 1 point damage. When attacking a vehicle, this weapon has a damage of D3. D3, not bad. Not going to expect them to haywire a vehicle to death within a very short space of time, but there's some anti-vehicle ability with that. Very cheap though, even for shooting at infantry targets. You are going to get your AP -1 and strength 6. So arc rifles are pretty good. Not as deadly as it was, I don't think. Haywire was really good. The other options you can go for is the plasma caliber. That costs, here is plasma caliber. Here, 14 points. This is significantly more. A fair bit more. So it will be in here. Right, again, you choose your profile. The usual then, standard, it's 18-inch range, assault 2. And remember, you're at 3s to hit usually, so it's pretty good. Strength 7, AP -3, and then 1 point of damage. No special rules. You can go supercharge. Assault 2, range 18, strength 8, AP -3, and 2 points of damage. That's a lot nastier. On a hit roll of 1, the bearer is slain after all his weapon shots have been resolved. And again, that ability to re-roll that would be helpful in that situation, to avoid those dreaded 1s. Now, you can then take a Transonic Razor. This is the sniper weapon. Range 60, heavy 1, strength 7, AP -2 and D3 points of damage. This weapon cannot be fired if the firing model moved during the movement phase. This does make you quite a defensive, long-range shooting kind of unit. This weapon may target a character, even if it's not the closest enemy unit. Each time you make a wound of a 6, it inflicts a mortal wound in addition to its normal damage. So that's nasty enough there. Not many weapons that can target characters, and for the AdMech here, they've got a very powerful weapon. Strength 7, AP -2 and D3 damage. That's a character killing potential there. It's not bad. And that's 25 points for that one. You are paying out for that. It's pretty expensive. If the unit contains 10 models, then one ranger can replace his galvanic rifle with one of another special weapons. You still can go for the 3 arc rifles, for example. They all come with 6+ invuln. I think that's just across the board here. Again, with a lot of these units, 6+ invuln. Yeah, they've all got it. Everyone has it here. It's easy to remember. All your 6s. It's nice and straightforward. Omnispecs. Units do not receive the benefits of their saving throws for being covered against attacks made by a unit that includes a model of an Omnispecs. Now, there must be somewhere, here it is, yeah. Omnispecs is 7 points. And by a unit that includes a model. Yeah, so one model in the unit needs to include one of those to get that benefit. Okay. Just recover, but my cover's not that. See guys, it doesn't quite work the same. You know, you're in a bunker, it's 3 up cover save. It doesn't work that way now, it's just +1 to your armour save. But 7 points, it would be handy enough. Enhanced data Teffer. You can reroll failed morale tests for a unit that includes a model with an enhanced data Teffer. So the ability to reroll your morale will cost 9 points. God. Yeah, 9 points, that is expensive. You're just seeing here, you've got quite a low leadership value here for Skitarii. So it could be a problem. It could be a problem for him. Now, special weapons. One Skitarii Ranger may also have an enhanced data for Omnispecs or... Oh. So you choose which one. Okay. And then the Alpha may take items from the Admech melee weapons and may replace their Galvanic Rifle with one item from the Adeptus Mechanicus pistols list. Okay. So this Alpha comes with 2 attacks here. So you give him a Mechanicus melee weapon, which is an Arc Maul, Power Sword, or a Taser Goad. So his Power Sword we know is going to be strength for the user AP -3, 1 point of damage. Arc Maul, which I like the look of, and it worked. It was nasty enough, extremely nasty actually. One of those unit leaders that Alpha's charging in could kill a Predator just with the Haywire, get 3 hits and then 2s to cause hull points and they're gone. Okay. So, an Arc Maul is +2 strength, nice, it's still at strength 5, it's AP -1, regardless of whether it's a vehicle or not, and then when attacking a vehicle this weapon has a damage of D3 if you manage to wound. But usually, well no, plus you're on strength 5, you're usually going to need 5s to wound. You can dish out D3 points of damage. AP -1, so it's not as nowhere near as good as it used to be, but it's still okay. That costs 5 points, right, cheap enough. Only problem now is there's no bonus for having pistol on close combat weapon, he's just going to be trying to hit on 2 dice. So they're quite poor there. So they can take melee weapons and they may replace their rifle with the pistols list. So we just go back here. I know one of them's the Arc pistol, the Phosphor Blast pistol, probably, yeah, and then the Radium pistol. So Arc pistol is 3 points, and then the Phosphor Blast pistol is 4 points, not paying out very much for these, and the Radium pistol is a point. So cheap enough. Radium pistol then is range 12, pistol 1, strength 3, 0 AP, 1 point damage. Each time I roll 6 to wound, inflicts 2 damage instead of 1. Okay, so that's that one. And then the Phosphor Blast pistol is going to be the one that ignores cover. Yeah, so we've seen that one already. And then the Arc pistol is range 12, pistol 1, strength 6, AP -1. When attacking a vehicle, it's damage D3. Yep. Okay, so not bad. Okay, so then, so I think you're going to be fielding these cheap units, but lower impact for sure. I don't see them much of a. I used to be able to use these. I used to be able to use this unit for anti-tank. That's pretty good. They could take on a tank. and finish it off with haywire. In combat, you have the rapid fire, because it used to be relentless, you can move and charge. You could have the rapid fire arc rifles, stripping off hull points easily, and then to finish our vehicle off, you charge it with the arc maul, arc pistol, and then knock up more haywire hits, and usually it's enough to kill a vehicle. But now, that's not going to happen. They're going to do damage, but they're not going to be one of those sort of key units. You're not going to expect too much from them. They do come with 6-up invuln. You've got Canticles Omniscia. Then there's the rules there for Omnispecs and Enhanced Data Tether. Alright, so Vanguard then. Next, with 10 points we were here with the Rangers. Then Vanguard are 10 points as well. It's paying the same now. There used to be a difference between them, but now they've leveled them up. So stat line is the same for the Vanguard than the Vanguard Alpha. He's just basically gets an extra attack and his leadership's 7. 4-up save. So the Radium Carbine, which I take it is free. 0, yeah, okay. So again, 10 of these, 100 points. You can only go up to maximum size 10 anyway. And then the Radium Carbine, range 18, assault 3, strength 3, AP minus 0, and then 1 point damage. Each time you make a wound roll of a 6 for this weapon, it inflicts 2 damage instead of 1. Okay. So again, up to 2 of them can go for the special weapons. If it's 10 models, then they can take another special weapons model. Then one of them can take an Omnispecs or a Data Tether. The Vanguard Alpha may take items from the Adeptus Mechanicus melee and pistol, just as usual. Okay, so Canticles, yes. Bionics, 6-up invuln. Rad Saturation, reduce the toughness of enemy units other than vehicles by 1 whilst within an inch of any Skitarii Vanguard units. So toughness drops. These are the infantry have lost out here, I think, in 8th. They've been cheapened, but they're much lower impact. Unit 10 of these, I really would expect them not to do very much at all. Really. Now, then that's just the rules. Omnispecs and Enhanced Data Tether just there. Okay, so these aren't not that impressive really. Nope. Not going to expect too much from either of those 2 units. That's troops. I believe they're both troops. So we'll go on to elites now. Infiltrators, one of my favourite units for Skitarii. So, Ruststalkers, Infiltrators, 18 points each. Now you just pay about 30 for them in 7th. Movement 8, so nice and quick these. Weapon skill, ballistic skill 3+, good. Strength 4, toughness 3, 2 wounds. It's a shame they've not increased. I always thought they would. Others seem to, but these haven't. There's still only 2 wounds. 3 attacks though, which is excellent. That's really, really good for your regular unit. Leadership 6 and 4-up save. Infiltrator Princeps is the same. He just has an extra attack. 4 attacks for him. Nice amount of attacks. Now they're armed with, you can go all the way up to unit 10 of them. They're armed with stubbed carbine and power swords. Power swords, strength for the user, which is strength 4. It's AP minus 3. 1 point of damage. Okay. So then, stud carbine. Costs you do have to pay 2 points for that. Yep. And that is range 18, pistol 3, 3 shots, strength 4, AP 0, and then 1 point of damage. Not much to be feared. Handy in that you can fire them in combat now. Okay. Now, you can swap these out. You can take the stud carbine and power sword and go for a Flechette Blaster and Taser Goad. Flechette Blaster's pistol 5, they've kept the high rate of 5 for that. And then strength 3, used to be strength 2, so they've just made that up to a more sensible number. It's AP 0 and then 1 point of damage. Nice. What's the cool thing about that is you're going to get to fire those 5 shots in close combat if it continues on as well. So not bad at all really. the Flechette Blasters. I wonder if you have to pay for them. FG Flechette Blaster, 2 points. You have to pay, not too bad. 2 points. It's 18, 20 right at the moment. And then you can go for a Taser Goad. See if it costs anything. Yeah, 6 points. So 26 points, used to about 30, or 35 actually, so they've dropped by a fair bit. Taser Goad then's melee, it's +2 strength, so that's strength 6, very similar to how it used to be. No wounds, or damage is 1, but then on a roll of a 6 the weapon causes 3 hits rather than 1, just how they used to be. So saturate the opponent with tons of hits. It's the same philosophy, I think. Nothing really has been missed out. Here they haven't dropped these down too badly, pretty much how they were. Not too bad. 6+ invuln, available for them, is what they used to have. They got their battle plate armour of 4+. Not too bad. Not going to have the feel no pain they used to have, so they've taken, that's gone, so that's going to reduce their survivability down by some degree. Okay, but still charging in, loads of attacks, not too bad. Infiltrators, during deployment you can set up this unit up in concealment instead of placing it on the battlefield. At the end of any of your movement phases, this unit can reveal its location. Set it up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 9 inches away from enemy models. Nice, so you can hold them off and deploy them somewhere, as long as it's 9 inches away. It's nice flexibility there. Neurostatic Aura, enemy units within 3 inches subtract 1 from their leadership. Oh, dude, that's terrible. Used to be so much better than that. So they're still okay, but they're not as good as they were, the Infiltrators. But at least the points have gone down. It's worse if they had got worse stat-wise and in the game, and then they're actually more points you have to pay out for them as well, but they're actually a fair bit cheaper. So next is Rust Stalkers. Got a bad feeling they may have knocked these down a bit as well. A Rust Stalker will cost 15 points a time. It's a bit cheaper actually than the Infiltrator. Again, stat line is exactly the same. Yes. So it's the same as it is for Infiltrators. You can go for 10 of them as usual. They're armed with Transonic Razor and Cord Claw. So we're on, just checking Rust Stalkers here, at 15 points, and then you add on Transonic Razor and Cord Claw. Cord Claw's 3 points, Transonic Razor's 2 points, so 5 points for those two weapons in total. Not that much at all. A Cord Claw is a melee weapon. It's strength for the user, which is going to be strength 4, no AP, and D3 points of damage. Cord Claw can only be used to make 1 attack each time model fights. Each time make a wound of a 6, target suffers D3 mortal wounds instead of the normal damage. So that's what the Cord Claw can do. The rules are very different for it in 7th, but that's how it is now. Then the Transonic Razor. Again, used to rules are pretty good for this, but strength of the user here. It's AP minor. It's AP 0, 1 point of damage. Each time I roll a 6 with this weapon, the target suffers a mortal wound in addition to any other damage. Okay. Yeah, no, they've not as good really. Transonic was a lot more deadly, used to match the armour and you could just bypass it, but now they've replaced it with something that's quite tame. So you can go for Transonic Blades. That's just going to give you +1 strength. Same rules as the Razor. Transonic Blades, 7 points there. Okay, if you want to take that. It's funny, Mine Scrambler grenades aren't on here. All gone. Yep. So we've got Canticles on this here and the 6+ invuln. That's it, there's no other special abilities. So these two have been taking a knock. They've become cheaper than they were, but these aren't as deadly as they used to be. No more Fearless for these, all gone. With the Omniscient Mask you used to be able to take. No Zealot anymore. So these have taken a bit of a knock. So, Untitled Ballistarii costs. I'm just thinking. I've slowed down here because these Skitarii units have all got worse than what they were. They've got cheaper though, so it's going to create a gap in this army. I think if the Imperial Knights can cope with the amount of points that he's going to be, that this may well, because these have all dropped in price, in points cost, you may find a gap open up in the Skitarii army. It may create an opportunity for other units to step in. We'll have to see. That's sort of the way I'm thinking at the moment. So that's them covered. So Ballistarii then. Here, 50 points to start off with, then you've got to add things on top. As for one of them, you can take 5 more of them, you can take a unit of 6. Each of them's armed with 2 Cognis autocannons, a twin Cognis autocannon, and a broad spectrum data Teffer. So, a twin autocannon. 25 points, you're on 75 points now for the Ballistarii. 75, and then what's the other? You could take a broad spectrum data Teffer is 0. Okay, you should pay out for that one. Now there's movement 10, so there's quick. Weapon skill and ballistic skill 3+, that's good. Strength 5, toughness 6, 6 wounds, cool. 2 attacks, leadership 8 and a 4 up save. Okay, so this, the stat line's not too bad. Now the autocannon then is range 48, nice range. It's heavy 4, nice. That's good. Strength 7, AP -1, and is 2 points of damage. It's a nice little edge there to the autocannons with that 2 points of damage. You may fire this weapon even if the firing model advanced, but you must subtract 2 from hit rolls. Okay. So no, it's quite rare you'd do that. So you may replace the Cognis autocannon with a Cognis las cannon. So you'd pay 25, you'd pay 45 for the las cannon. So 45 plus 50, so 95 points. The Iron Strider with a las cannon. It is it's a twin though, so it is 2 shots, strength 9 AP -3 and D6 damage. It's deadly enough. It is deadly. With las cannons, unit of 3 of them I think would cause trouble. You'd be looking about 285 points for that. They come with a 6+ invuln as well. Got Canticles also. The data Teffer, the broad spectrum data Teffer, units within 3 inches. With this at the start of the movement phase, add 1 to their leadership for the duration of the phase. Then there's the explodes results just there. Okay. So if you are in need of some las cannon support, then you could mount them on these guys. It spreads the wounds, spreads the models. You know, that killer blow that blows up a whole tank. You can avoid that with these by taking multiple, because they come as multiple smaller vehicles. If one dies badly, you've still got 2 left, for example. Next one's the Dragoons. I have 2 of these. Chicken walkers as they were called, but they did really well. They used to just pop vehicles, brilliant ambush, just moved up much quicker than the opponent would anticipate. I've got a bad feeling these are going to not be as good as they were. Basically in 7th, if these charged, if I had a unit of 2, if those 2 charged into a vehicle and it was a normal regular vehicle, say armoured 10 at the back, I was usually expecting them to bust through easily and destroy it. Don't think that's going to be the case here. So, and the price may well have gone up as well. The Sidonian Dragoon is 59 points. I mean, it's without the upgrades. What used to be paying 45 points. Everything included. So you can squadron these up, same as here, unit of 6 of them total. So equipped with a Taser Lance and broad spectrum data Teffer. The data Teffer is free of charge. The Taser Lance is 9 points, you have to pay for it. Okay. That will get you, strength is +3, so 5 and 3, strength 8, and then you're on AP -0. 2 points of damage though, if the wounds come through. And then if you roll a 6, it causes 3 hits rather than 1. But no AP minus there. No, it's not going to bring a vehicle down. Not going to bring a vehicle down at all. So, not quite so good here. Well, nowhere near as good as they were, really. You can swap that Taser Lance for a Radium Giselle. So, paying 9 points, see what you get here for 4 points, cheaper. Range 30, heavy 2, strength 5, no minus on the AP, 1 point damage. This weapon can charge at a character if it's not closest. If you roll a wound of a 6+, it's a mortal wound as well. Not bad, but the actual stat line for the weapon's not that amazing. There's no AP minus there, it's only strength 5. So, model then may take a Phosphor Serpenta. Range 18, assault 1, strength 5, AP minus 1. No bonuses for being in cover. I think you take that as on top of your main weapon. So that costs. Did you have to pay for it? 6 points here for that. 6 points. So not that impressive here with these. You'd get model made, so we've covered that. Canticles Omniscia, 6+ invulns, not that amazing. Units within 3 inches of any model equipped with a broad, we've covered that already, broad spectrum data depth, that's fine. And then explodes. Incense cloud, your opponent must subtract 1 from all hit rolls for ranged weapons against this target. It's -1 to hit. It's going to protect them a little bit, but not much, really. So that's the Dragoons. I don't think they're that impressive, sad to say. Okay, beautiful picture. That was the influence here for my Skitarii army. Love the electrical blue, love the red and the white, and sort of the rusty mechanical sort of look. That was the theme I went for, the Mars colour scheme. Really happy with how that came out. Alright, so last entry here, and this is the one that I hope they're decent enough. Skitarii I think are suffering at the moment. Some great HQs we saw earlier on, and some of the AdMech units are very strong, but all of the Skitarii units here taking a knock. Other than maybe the Belisarius with their decent weaponry, especially las cannons. Would be nasty enough. Yeah, look, their ballistic skills 3+ here as well. So pretty reliable shooting available from them also. Okay, so the Dune Crawlers. I hope these are good, I really do. We'll take a look at them here. So, the Dune Crawler will cost 90 points. That's how it used to start, actually, at 90, I believe. So don't change that. Weapon skill 5+, so you don't really expect to do much in combat. Strength 6, toughness 7, 11 wounds, leadership 8, and a 3+ save. Okay. Then on the damage table here, it's remaining wounds, it's movement 8, 3 up ballistic skill, attacks 3, and then it just drops to movement 6, 4+ ballistic skill, 5+, just cascades down that way with the damage. So you're armed with an eradication beamer, which will cost, we add this on to 90 points. Eradication beamer, 30 points, so you get a 120 point unit. Eradication beamer then, range 36, heavy D6, strength 8, AP -2, and D3 points of damage. When attacking units within 12, change the weapon's type to heavy D3, but resolve the shots with an AP of -4 and damage D6. Okay, so that's the eradication beamer. Deadly enough. I still rate the other weapons coming up with the other Icarus Array, at least. Looks pretty good here. So then your other option is either a Neutron Laser and Cognis Heavy Stubber, a Twin Heavy Phosphor Blaster, or an Icarus Array. Okay, so Neutron Neutron Laser and Cognis Heavy Stubber. Okay, so just cover the little stubber here. Oh, you have to pay for it, 8 points. Ouch. Range 36, heavy 3, strength 4, AP 0, 1 point damage. So you may fire this weapon even if the firing model advanced, but you must subtract 2 from any to hit rolls if you do so. Right. Okay, but that's nothing major there with the stubber, and you have to pay for it now. Neutron Laser, range 48, nice range, heavy D3, strength 10, AP -4, D6 points of damage. Treat damage rolls of 1 and 2 made with this weapon as 3 instead. It's pretty reliable and the damage coming through as well, and it's a deadly weapon. I wonder how much that costs. 45. So for 135 points, that's what you get. But it's not bad, it's a decent weapon, that. You know, one of them's reliable. One of them's not. One of them's okay. You may want units of 2 or 3. So it's, you know, 2 or 3 D3 shots just to make sure you're getting some kind of higher output of shots coming through. Okay. The other options to go for and what this model may take a Cognis Heavy Stubber, covered that, may take a broad spectrum data tether and smoke launchers. Okay. So you can go for a twin heavy Phosphor Blaster. Twin heavy Phosphor Blaster is 30 points. It's a fair amount of points there. And that is range 36, heavy 6, strength 6, AP -2, and there's no bonus for cover saves. I wouldn't say that is that amazing. Not really, no. Okay. So the last one here is the Icarus Array. That will cost 40. Oh. Not so bad here. I would have thought these Dune cores were in a lot more points. 130 points for this unit. Now, take a look at the Icarus Array, and I'm going to discuss this a little bit here, because out of all the things that have been knocked down for Skitarii, this seems to have got better, in my opinion. It seems to have a lot better. Because, a number of reasons. First is, Icarus Array, when attacking with this weapon, you can fire all 3 of the profiles below. So you do get access to all of these with the same round of shooting. So, Daedalus. Right. I'm just questions cross my mind. Can you split the different weapon types at different targets? So you can say, right, I'm going to fire all my Gatling rocket launchers at this target, then I'm going to fire all my Icarus autocannons at another target. I don't think you can, because this counts as one weapon, this whole system. But I could be wrong. If you know the answer, leave that in the comment section, it's quite important. Now, the first is the Daedalus missile launcher. Range 48, so kept the range. Heavy 1. Strength 7, AP -3, D6 points of damage. Fantastic. And this is only just part of this weapon system. So against monstrous creatures, vehicles of any kind, it's in a decent enough strength, excellent AP minus, and then D6 points of damage is fantastic. So that's a really good start. Then you have the Gatling rocket launcher, which you can fire as well. It's the same range, 48. They've kept the 5 shots. It's still strength 6. It's AP -2. Brilliant. And then 1 point of damage. That's 5 shots come through. Then the twin autocannons, same range, heavy 4, nice reliable. So it's not D6 or D3, it's just heavy 5, heavy 4. That's at strength 7, AP -1, 2 points of damage. So brilliant spread of weaponry, tons of shots coming out, cheap unit, well protected. As for being a vehicle, vehicle's a lot more durable now in 8th edition. And then you can add to all hit rolls made for this weapon against targets that can fly. Subtract 1 for hit rolls against all other targets. It used to be so much worse. It used to be 6+ to hit targets that are non-flyer. You know, it's ground targets were 6s to hit. Now it's just -1. So now it's 4s to hit. Massive. Can't tell you how big a difference that is. Really is a huge difference. And at the other end of the spectrum, it's +1 to hit units that can fly. Now this isn't just flyers anymore. This is things like jet bikes, skimmers, Tau battle suits, all count as fly. and then he's going to get +1 to hit them. So he's going to be on full strength, it's going to be on 2s to hit after the modify, 2s to hit those kind of targets. Brilliant. So that's a fantastic setup there, and they've kept it pretty cheap. So I think I'll stick with my Icarus Arrays for sure. Now, Eminentus Force Field, the model does come with a 5+ invuln. You can reroll saving throws of 1 for any Honour Guard Dreamcrawler if it was within 6 inches of at least one other friendly. So there's your incentive to get multiple Dreamcrawlers. I have a unit of 3 of them. You take these separately now, but if they're hanging around near each other within 6, then they can reroll 1s on their invuln save, which could help. Just a bit more helps. Good. Comes with smoke launchers. Once per battle, an armed with smoke launchers can use them instead of shooting any weapons. In your next phase, your opponent must subtract 1 from hit rolls. It's pretty tame. Now, for the smoke launchers. Broad spectrum data tepper covered there. Crawler, you can only advance D3, but ignore the -1 penalty for moving and shooting with heavy weapons. Then explodes. That's it. Okay. So, my take then, just to summarise what we've looked at here. Cult Mechanicus, I think the HQs are good. Belisarius Core is superb. Then these are handy to configure them how you want. The Cataphront, Breachers and Destroyers, there's real flexibility of them. I think they're pretty decent. The Electro Priests, the Volkov Electro Priests, I think are pretty good. Unit 15 of them, cause a lot of trouble for a lot of units. Castelln Robots are okay, but they're very expensive. And then onto Skitarii. I thought all the units have taken a bit of a knock. Apart from the Dreamcrawler, really. I think they've stayed pretty much as it was, if not better. So that's a key unit there, I think, to have for your AdMech army. So that is the review done for the AdMech there for Cult Mechanicus and Skitarii. I think my Skitarii army is going to be a bit smaller in points. Well, the points cost is going to be less, so it's going to free up some points now in 8th editions. We bring it up to 2,000 points. Maybe we'll be able to squeeze some new units, characters in with the army. If you want to follow that along, check out the Plus channel. There's a link there on the channel homepage, and you can subscribe to that, and then there'll be an army development video, and you'll see the new list before it's released on the regular channel, before the armies and so on are seen in complete. And then you can even leave your comments and feedback and help shape and change that army on the Plus channel. So that's army development video. Keep a lookout for that on the Plus channel. Just to mention, I've got this book from gamingfigures.com. They do Games Workshop at a discounted rate, and you can check them out as well. But there it is. So Adeptus Mechanicus, they seem okay. I think Skitarii have taken the biggest knock. The units aren't terrible, but a lot of their cool features they used to have are gone, sadly. But I still think they'll be a decent enough army. Maybe they need some help from some new units and characters as we develop their army in 8th edition. There it is, that's the review. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time. And also leave your comments and feedback, what you think of what's happened to the different units. Leave your unit combinations and upgrades and things that you like and that work well for you during games. All that information is very helpful for those that read. There it is, thanks for watching, tune in next time.